questions, but once again, I'd just like to thank you and congratulate you on a beautiful night. So, thank you.
I would like just to present you co-producer of this film, my dear friend, Jose Maria Morales. So I said Jose Maria Morales, and Christina Pojanel, she edited this film. She lives in New York, and she maybe can come here because my English is limited, so maybe she can help.
First question, anybody? Yes, down here, please.
Yeah, that song, is it an old one or a new one? And maybe you can say something about
It's made for a film.
What was the question? What was the question?
The question was whether when they embraced the title song is an original composition or it is an old piece of music.
And about the musician.
It's Vlatko Stefanovski, one of great composer from Macedonia. And he presented me a couple of songs, and I loved that one, so we developed it, and I like that song.
Next question? Yes, up there, sir. Yes, sir, go ahead, up there.
I don't understand the significance of the fire during the wedding.
The questions, so the question is about the significance of the fire during the Romani wedding.
I think it's clear that somebody put the fire, and we shot this scene because, you know, it's maybe hard to say, but I think that the gypsies today in Europe, we are really in a similar situation like the Jews in 30s in Europe. And nobody wants gypsies. They are guilty for everything. They are kicking them out from their villages, etc. 3 days after I shot this scene in the neighborhood in Belgrade, somebody put a fire and burned their house and so on. It's happened very often.
Yes, down here.
Hi. I have a question whether the story is based on a real story of this gentleman, and for the gypsies, the second question is about the gypsies that currently they've been asked out from France. There is a big news about it, so I guess this is also what's incorporated in the movie. So the question whether the story is a real story or it was written in...
Which story?
This is a real story.
The question was about the film, whether it is based on an original story or not, and to add to that, whether the element of the gypsies was added or inspired from the true events that happened in France, where gypsies have been kicked out of France and sent back to Eastern Europe.
That's an original script, but as I said on the beginning, it's based on many real things. This space you saw abandoned is still in Belgrade like it is, which is a shame. And I don't understand why after 70 years nobody gave the real mark of this. It's the only place of Holocaust in Europe which is not properly marked. And for example, the lady, the professor meets the lady in the corridor. She is an actress, but she completely took a dialogue from the original lady. She lives on these old cells. They are refugees from Bosnia, most of them. It's 500-600 of them. They live in this camp. It's horrible, but there is a little restaurant which was a morgue before. The people doesn't know that. So somehow when I started to think about this film, I said I have to do something that the people know that this camp existed, because if we forget our past, we cannot have a future. So one of the reasons I really wanted to make this film is to make a first step and say, do something, we need a memorial center there. And that's one thing. The other elements are also true. And based on the true stories, I told you in the beginning that my co-writer and my best friend, Philip David, he lived 4 years as a child in a Serbian village nearby Kragujevac, and he killed all his family, and that's how he survived. And that was the initial idea to make this story. As I said in the beginning, it's a very simple film, but with a lot of levels, I hope.
Hvala.
Yes, thank you.
So you brought out the suffering of the Roma almost as a metaphor for the Jewish Holocaust, or the continuation of the Roma Holocaust, really. I'm wondering if you considered bringing into the film issues related to the siege of Sarajevo or the Bosnian suffering locally, or if you have any thoughts about creating a drama or a film to commemorate that.
So the question was following the film's parallel between the Holocaust and the Gypsy violence, whether Goran has any plans to make further films that discuss the Bosnian-Serbian War.
Sarajevo, you man. Listen, I cannot put everything in one film. But I was marked as an anti-Serbian guy, a traitor, when I apologized to Sarajevo. And I was between the first intellectual, I can say, who said, sorry, what's happened. But I am not guilty for that. So that's important to know who are the war criminals and to take them on court, because all the Serbs are not guilty for that. And I cannot accept good and bad guys, you know. But I felt really guilty for Sarajevo.
Yes, up there.
My impression of the movie was that there was a lot of disconnect in the families, like transgenerational disconnect, and it also seemed that people that were very important to connect with, like the son and the father, like there is so much difficulty, and there was so much ease in connecting with other people. It was easier to open to other people than to actually the main character's own son, which is almost representative of what's happening in Belgrade and in Serbia.
So
So
the-
that's transgenerational trauma.
The question / comment was is about the film's portrayal of generational disconnect and detachment between the several generations, and whether that is this is indicative of the society and.
And it's also like the people that are, it seems to be important to connect with, like father and son, like the main character's own son. There is a disconnect, which is very important to actually connect with.
So, Goran, if you could speak more about the generational disconnect in the film between Misha, his son, and the fact that he's able to actually connect more with his friends rather than his intimate family.
A friend of mine told me one day that you choose your friends, you don't choose your family. very important thing for me, because the new generation, they don't have the time to think about the past, what's happened, etc. And also the son says to his father, you didn't have the time for us. So I think this kind of gap exists in contemporary families, at least in Serbia. And I see with my sons, I have two sons. Sometimes I don't understand them at all, and they don't understand me. And that's how it is, you know. So we need more time to spend together. That's the problem. But in the economical crisis, this new generation is, they don't have the time. We have more time than them. And it's their misfortune, I can say. You are satisfied?
Go ahead.
What do you think will be the response when this is shown in Serbia?
What does Goran think the response will be when the film gets released domestically in Serbia?
You mean how many people will come to see the movie? Not a lot, I have to say. No sex, no soft violence, no one swear words. No, I don't know. I had some reactions because the film is nominated by our Academy for Oscars weeks ago. And I don't know how the people will react in Hollywood, but in Serbia some people reacted. Unfortunately, they said, why we are sending film which don't talk about Serbian people. And I'm very much afraid of these kind of talks. So I don't know reaction, but I think film has honest emotion. I think, maybe I'm wrong. And this emotion will help the film to in Serbia, that people will come and see the movie and to be interested to, because you know, the problem is that nobody knows, even in Belgrade, that this camp existed. When I started to shoot, and when I shot the scene, when the professor is in a museum, in a Jewish museum, it's a real place, like in the movie. And some crew member told me, but I don't know if the scene is believable, because he says, I didn't know much about it. So I said, let's go to the street with me now. And we stopped, but I swear you, that's what happened. I stopped 10 people in Belgium, different age. Just to said, yes, some kind of camp was there. Nobody knew it. So I think this film will help people to know. And the problem is probably that there is no mark and nothing, because they are civil victims. And after the war, the Titus, during the Titus period, they just built the big monuments for the victory, for the partisans, but nobody thought about the civil victims. And after that, why nobody put any mark there? I don't know. I really don't know. Like the son in the film, he said, leave the state to take care of us.
So we have time for 2 more questions. Up there, yes, ma'am.
Tell me about the actors,
The question is about the actors and, of course, our president, especially about Mustafa Nadarevic.
Mustafa Nadarevic is a great actor, so maybe I wanted him or no film. Because I love actors. Through actors you pass emotion to the audience. And it's a bizarre situation. He's born in Sarajevo. He is Muslim. He is a Croatian actor because he spent his life in Croatia in Zagreb. And he is playing Serb in the film, discovering that he is Jewish. But it's real really great actor, and I always open a space to the actor. That's why this in this film especially follow the rhythm of this professor. It's a long shots, no cuts over shoulders and etc. Just to give them the space to reach this real emotion and not to make emotion to pushing it.